creative and very innovative session and series on grow your practice. Yes, we have designed this special series for the members in practice. Nowadays, practicing scenario is dynamic, it is changing, it is very much creative, lot of pressure from the lawmakers, lot of pressure from the clients, and also pressure from the technological area, and our practice dynamics are changing. But ICI has a role to regulate and also to take forward the knowledge of our members. And for the members in practice, this is specially designed session. It will be continued in different series. This is series 1. We have called it as GYP, Grow Your Practice. And for this, we have a very innovative approach. That is, first we will be having opinion poll. All the participants will have to give their statistical details. Then we will have a first session. That the first session is on the goal management in the office of a chartered accountant. Then second session will be on the how to start and how to grow in valuation practice. That is the area of practice which we are targeting in this session. Apart from our conventional practice, we should look out for the other areas. So let's start our discussion. I welcome you all for this today's webinar on Grow Your Practice. Friends, in your screen, there is a opinion poll. And in that opinion poll, first opinion poll is related to your statistics. So I request you all to open that opinion poll and give your candid suggestion, candid answer. This is anonymous. कहीं पे भी आपका नाम रिकॉर्ड नहीं हो रहा है, मोबाइल नंबर नहीं आ रहा है, ईमेल आईडी नहीं आ रही है हमारे पास. और ये ओपिनियन पोल आप जरूर फीडअप करिए. कैन यू शेयर माय स्क्रीन? सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट in the opinion poll. Why the screen is not coming here? You can scroll down to the different questions. Here, for the first question is the city, which you have to note it down. Then comes the constitution of your practice, whether you are a proprietary or a partnership. Then comes down whether now it is visible to all in my screen. You near about 25 responses have already been received. We have 5 minutes. Please participate in the statistics, because this is going to give us an idea of our future endeavors, and also it will be helpful to our panelists for the discussion. So this is our opinion poll. Second question is, how many years of experience in CA practice? What is your gross turnover? This is for the proprietary only, 3 number. 4 number is for the partnership. Then 5th, how much fees outstanding. Then overall strength of your firm, staff. Then whether you are network outside the city, category as per ICI, and whether you have regular training in your office, and what is the ratio of your overall expenses. Dear participants, please fill it. There are, how many participants are there? We are having good number of participants. So I request you all to feed the data and submit it at the end. We are having 1,128 right now participants. So don't be shy. A chartered accountant is a person who gives his opinion. So we request all the participants to feed this. Take their time. We have 5 minutes. Please feed this data. Then we will have discussion on the goal management strategies in a CA office. And for that, we have a panelist. The first panelist is Ashok Modi sir, who is a senior founder partner in the firm AJ Modi and Company. His favorite area of practice is taxation. Successfully nurtured more than 100 plus chartered accountants in a firm, and he is a past chairman of Nasik branch of WIRC. So welcome you, sir, and congratulate for your century. 100 plus chartered accountants have passed under you. Then we have Suhas Bora, sir. He he is a very enthusiastic, very energetic chartered accountant from Pune, founder member and senior most partner in SPCM and Associates. His areas of interest of practice is direct taxes, and along with that, audit, indirect taxes, company law, and RERA. He is one of the finest member in our fraternity in Pune. He was the chairman and member of managing committee of Pune branch and have done numerous seminars in WIRC and all over India. And he is a very active member of GITO and other social organizations, and regular speaker on union budget, and having a very strong hold on the tribunal practice in Pune. So these are the two panelists. And friends, these two panelists have done wonders in their area of practice. And we will discuss with them how to grow the practice. Both have started from small city and then grown up to the bigger city. So we will discuss with them. But before that, I will again request all the participants to please feed the opinion poll. Till the time 120 responses have come up, I request all the participants to click on their screen the first opinion poll, that is the statistics of participants in GYP. Friends, why we are taking this data? We will prepare a research report on the members in practice in India by these VCMs and by the one-day programs and also the national summits on networking, which we are going to take region-wise. And in every session of the members in practice committee sessions, we will ask this data, and accordingly we will create a research paper that what is the position of our practicing member, what needs to be done to empower them, and how they can grow their practice. So this is very important statistics. I request you all to please feed up, please do the needful. Till the date, till the time 140 responses are there. Those who are not doing this, I again request you to do this. This is very important. It's anonymous. We are not getting your email ID, mobile number, or name. Just feed this data and we will be okay with that. Please do it. And this data is going to give us the information to our panelists that what we need to do in future for the growth of practice and also to answer your queries. So, dear members, it's an earnest request, humble request to feed this opinion poll. And you can do it in between of the session also, because there are 4 opinion polls. First is the statistics. Then second opinion poll is on the goal management. Third opinion poll is on the valuation practice. And fourth is the feedback-based opinion poll. All these sessions of committee of members in practice will be having this type of format. This is called research-based discussion with our practicing members. And we are happy that ICAI is doing this. So friends, Now, I am starting our panel discussion with our panelists. In between, you take your time and give your feedback. So before going to the feedback, before going to the panelist, I am starting the responses session, responses screen, which is visible to you. So let's analyze. We have got 158 responses and still responses are coming. So it's a good. We have participants from Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, and different cities. So what is your constitution of practice? Ashok sir and Suhas sir, along with Drishti ma'am and Sumit ji, the next panelist of the session, both all are here. So this is our participants' data. We have got proprietary 67% and partnership 32%. Then how many years of experience in practice? 42% are below 5, means young members are more in today's session. So this will be a very guiding factor for all our panelists. Then what is your gross total income of practice? Below 20%, say 63%. And then not applicable being they are in partnership, then 50 to 1, nothing, and 20 to 50, 9.5%. So our proprietors gross turnover is below 20,000. We have to empower them. That should be our one of the motive of ICI, to empower these members, small and medium scale practitioner. Then gross turnover of practice in partnership. Here we have seen that maximum income or turnover is coming from partnership. You can visualize 50 to 1 crore, 1 crore plus are also there. So near about 5% are showing 1 crore plus, and also the other turnover based data. Then how much fees outstanding is there? This is very important because this is also going to be one of the important goal, how to recover the fees in time from the clients. So this is also one of the important analysis which we are getting here. So 10 to 25% outstanding, say 70%, 25 to 50% outstanding, say 24%, and 50% and more, say 5%. So this is very important discussion which will be important for our discussion in with the panelist also. Overall strength of the office, here 0 to 5. So there is a manpower issue with many of us. 66% say they are 0 to 5. Then do you have branches? Here the branches are not there. At 82% members say they are not having any branches or networks outside the city. So there is a large scope for the growth. Then category of the firm, here not applicable is 55%, means young members are there, below 5 years are there, so they are not able to get empanelment, and their category is not there in the list. Then whether regular training is held in the office, this is very important. Whatever discussions is going to happen in today's our panel discussion, this is going to be a key, that how we train our staff, whether we are having daily training. Very few say they are giving daily training to the staff, only 3%. Then weekly training 12%, then monthly training 34%, and yearly training 7%, and other 40% are saying they are not giving training to their staff regularly. So this is a very important. If we want to grow, achieve our goal, training is one of the criteria. Then what is the expenses they are incurring for running their practice? Here 30 to 40% is 30%, up to 30% is 30, then 40 to 50% is 21, and 50 and above is 17%. These may be of the partnership. So This was our statistics, and yet many are filling this data. We are receiving a good response. I still request all of you to give your valuable response so we can gather the information. So this is the statistics for the today. Now let's move to our panel discussion. Let's move to our first panelist. Suhas sir and Ashok sir, you both have seen this data, and now I just want to ask you, sir, that after looking to the data, Suhas sir,
Yes.
how do you determine the appropriate level of staffing for growing of a CA office, and what should be the goal of a CA office? Like, there can be a different goals in a CA office. A proprietor want to become a partnership firm. A partnership firm want to become a big partnership firm, category 1. And that firm want to grow outside the city. You have seen that there are no branches. Many
Yes.
said they are not having branches outside the city. Some may be having a goal of growing their practice, a multidisciplinary, or say outside the state, and then comes international networking. So these are the different stages for goal setting. And for the goal setting, very important, Suhas sir, here I am again sharing screen with you to start our discussion. Please share the screen. Suhas sir,
Yes.
goal management is the first session, and to start a practice, every CA have some dream. There must be a goal in his mind to start the practice. So there was some goal in your dream also, that when you started the practice, as well as Ashok sir also,
Yes.
and that goal can be of a service, satisfaction, and success. Means service to the client, satisfaction of a manpower, and success of the firm. So how we define it? Then there is a conflict between the firm's goal and personal goal, because we have seen many partnerships are breaking because two partners are having different goal, and the partnership breaks down. So then there are goals which are decided by many firms, but they don't plan it on yearly basis. They don't follow it, because you have seen in the statistics, monthly meetings are there. There are no, even few are not having meeting of training. Then they don't change their goal according to the time, and they may not achieve the goal. And also, sir, when the goals are set, there should be yearly reward system or punishment or some stick and carrot approach for the achievement of goal. And if there is no goal, then ghumte reh jao, goal is one of the approach. And for the goal management, it must be a smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So this was our discussion. Now, sir, over to you for our first question. The first question is that the first question is, how do you determine the appropriate level of staffing for growing a CA office? Over to you,
Yes,
Suhas
Umesh.
sir.
Yes, Umesh ji, at the outset, I must congratulate you for having this unique idea for commencing such activities. And you rightly said, way back in 1982, when I started my articleship, I had also a dream because I have traveled that time almost more than 300 chartered accountants office to have my continue as an article also. And somehow they, because of the no profile behind me, I could able to get it very last after traveling almost more than 300 chartered account office. So that time I had a dream that yes, when I passed out a chartered accountancy, I will also have a setup of right from the day one, it should be of the team. And therefore, from the beginning, I decided to carry a profession in the partnership model, and that was the vision which was been considered. उमेश जी, आप हमेशा आपके सीरीज में, करनीति में कृष्ण जी का उपयोग करते हैं, और अपना प्रोफेशन भी ऐसे ही है कि जहाँ पे जो रोल कृष्ण निभाता है पूरे महाभारत में, वही रोल हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंट लोग भी निभाते हैं टुवर्ड्स द सोसाइटी, टुवर्ड्स आवर ओन गोल, टुवर्ड्स आवर नेशंस गोल. And there I find it, uh, when we decide this as a profession as excellence, and if we want to carry a excellence, what we require is selection of appropriate staff, because we are here to serve the people. We are here to solve the problem of the people. We are here to give satisfaction to the people. And naturally, once you are in process of giving satisfaction to the people, your personal goals are also been automatically uh, multivated that way. And therefore, it says that there is no need for chasing behind the money. Money comes when you are giving a proper solutions to the proper people. But that time you also required a very proper and effective team, because that team which you select has to go with your firm strategic goal with that. So what your firm decided to go ahead, each your goals, your selection of the people also to be matched in that level. And once you see that selection of the people, then you must have a very thoroughly examine people with a like-minded setup, which will concern with your goal, which will concern strategy of your firm's management, and it should be both way. You rightly said, because when we see the opinion polls, we have find that there are so many firms, people are not practicing as a team, so they went individual one. Their individual one, you have all the lackings. You have a lacking of infrastructure, you have a lacking of the proper personnel, you have a lacking of the services to make all, because all the clients also now required a one group service, and you cannot be master of all. So unless and until you have a team, a proper team of selection, you must able to
Correct.
decide in accordingly. So what you must have a model for you is that the right amount of you first of all you should select of the level of partnerships which are going on. Then you have a right type of senior personnel with you. You have associate staff with you. Even for the training also, we made out in our office has been when we select that articles, first 4 to 5 days, we just ask them to groom in our office. We give some material to them, and then we give entire strategy of our organization. What is our goal in the profession? And there I always make a zikr of उमेश जी आपका कृष्ण भगवान की जो आप हमेशा यूज करते, दैट फिक्शन आई ऑल्सो यूज इट, सेइंग दैट कि अपना रोल जो है, अपना रोल अगर अपने सब लोगों के अपने पास आने वाले आदमी का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने का है, तो यू विल ऑलवेज फाइंड अ सॉल्यूशन. You will not stuck to the problem. And there is a model which you have to make out that I always develop a model of ask. Ask, it means a seeking. And apart from the seeking, I said to all the articles, you should not stuck up anywhere. You have entire library, you have everything available to you. You should try your best first. It's like a training of the swimming as such to work
Correct.
out.
Correct.
Same way,
Correct.
and our reverse of ask, which we develop, reverse of ask
Yes.
is KSA. That K stands for knowledge, S stands for skills, and A is for the attitude, attire which you work out. So if you have a knowledge base with you, then skills we will sharpen in our office. The skills is like a pencil which we use out. I give always a reference of pencil, saying that keep the pencil with a beautiful casing, it will not be used unless and until it is sharpened. And while sharpening, it has to be have some stress level with you. And if you are
Correct.
accustomed to it right from the first day of articleship, you are a chartered accountant. The person who are being associates, you are having a different mindset. Just unlearn the things, go with the strategy of the firm. You will find a right place, a right person to work out. This is what I will
Correct.
have to say. Yeah.
करेक्ट करेक्ट सर, आपने कुछ चंद ही मिनटों में बहुत सारी बातें कह दी, एंड आई विल लाइक ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट टू नोट डाउन व्हाट सर हैज बीन डिस्कसिंग. एंड we have another panelist also, Ashok Modi sir. Ashok sir, what are the most important factors to consider when planning for the growth of the firm according to you?
First, thanks to the Umesh Bhai. First part is adequate and skilled manpower. So for example, there are work for 10 persons. We have only 2 or 3 persons only. So there is also problem of some, or vice versa. There are 8 to 10 persons or work for only 2, 3 persons. Then hence means adequate manpower is a very important thing. The skilled manpower. So there are what type of work, which type of work we have done, and skilled manpower required for that purpose. So for GST, for income tax, for FERA, for FEMA, for investment consultancy, for audit, there are skilled manpower required for that each and every work. Thereafter, ethically practice is most important. Please don't compromise to ethic in any case. Thereafter, system-driven approach rather than person-driven approach. वन पर्सन समझो, एक ही आदमी अगर आपको ऑफिस में एक ही आदमी काम के लिए फिक्स है, तो वो उसके लिए आपको एक ही काम के लिए 2 या 3 आदमी आपको तैयार करने चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर एक आदमी छुट्टी पे चला जाए या आपको छोड़ के चला जाए तो प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है. इसलिए पर्सन ड्रिवन अप्रोच चाहिए rather than सिस्टम ड्रिवन अप्रोच. उसके बाद रिक्रूटमेंट ऑफ द क्लाइंट्स, क्लाइंट की रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से आपको आपका स्टाफ तैयार करना चाहिए, और क्लाइंट के आगे के एक्सपेंशन के हिसाब से, न्यू क्लाइंट के हिसाब से आपका स्टाफ, उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है उस हिसाब से स्टाफ को ट्रेन करना चाहिए. तीसरा, सिस्टम रिसोर्सेज. आपने टेक्नोलॉजी अपडेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए, आपका जगह स्पेस, क्योंकि जो रिक्वायरमेंट उस हिसाब से आपका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए. जैसे मेरे पास एक 25 इयर्स बैक एक आर्टिकल था, नाउ सी अश्विन कंदोई, दे हैव सेट माय कंप्यूटर सिस्टम इन दैट एट दैट टाइम. Nowadays, this system follows with some addition or some changes. But now he is a owner of a big software company, namely Vinci Technologies, and with more than 1,200 staff.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Ashok sir, what you have said, that your client was a small when he was with you. Now he is having 300 plus staff. And he is growing. So why not a CA office should also be grow at that level, and we must cater to the need of the clients. और आपने बहुत अच्छा किया, कहा है कि इथिकल भी चाहिए, स्किल्ड लेबर भी चाहिए for the growth, and that is very important. Suhas, yeah, Suhas sir.
Just to Ryder, to add up what Ashok ji is saying, in a process we must able to develop approach of from I to we. If we succeed in developing that culture, then I think so that staffing also will not be a problem to us. Yes, Umesh, sorry.
Correct. Dear participant, it is very interesting discussion, and also a second opinion poll is also open for you, that is related to the goal management. You can go and put your preferences there, and we will share the results once this session is over. So you can start putting your opinion in the second opinion poll also, which is visible on your screen. Now we are moving from staff and the manpower related issues and other factors to now, which is a very important aspect which Ashok sir has given us or given glimpses, the role of technology. Suhas sir, when you were proprietor, now you have a very good firm. So how technology setup you have been running, whether you have adequate staff for that or you have some specialized person in this technology area? Over to you, Suhas sir.
Umesh, yes, in the initial period, it was only a small home-based technology which has been worked on. When I started a practice, it is with the typewriter. Then computer came, and then later on we go on gradually increasing. But now, last almost more than 10 to 15 years, rather 15 years, we have a separate computer system engineer in the office itself. We have a setup in that fashion where the one person is with there who to cater every needs of the software upgradation, software need-based working, and because right now technology has a very important role, since every our working is on the e-filing. Every filing is the due dates have been concerned. Even now, even if you have to file the petitions before the High Court, it's an e-file to be worked out. So you have to be a very strong network, strong hardware also to be required, and infrastructure in the form of software also to be required. And especially there are certain tools which have been there. If you use a uh, Chrome, there are so many extensions available. If you use those, you will find that it will be a very useful to work out. Say like a Freedom. Freedom is a software and a website was working where you are able to get out so many things which has been attached to the Chrome, and it doesn't require more costing also. You have Pomodoro.
Okay.
Freedom is been there. Then you have Pomodoro. That has been one system which will work out for the peoples to work out where there is a lot of multitasking can be done simultaneously because we have a habit of having multitasking
Correct.
together to work out. Then we have you can say Grammarly should be used because this can be used to for have effective communications. You can get it check of your every working in a
Correct.
grammatical manner, so that will give a good impact to you. Then you have stretch log. You will, while working in the system, there has been stretch log. If you have a software, you will find after 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you can stretch your body in such a fashion, that mode itself, where you will not have fatigue, where you will not have eyesight problem also. So these are the things which can be used because of the technology, and we adopted that upgradation of technology all the time there, where is been a system engineer has been involved, and he guided us entire team how to go on fasting workout.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Simultaneously, he also monitor there is not misuse of the infrastructure. That also been there. So he creates so many walls to work out, which that system person is available, known to it. But we are being sure that yes, our
Yes,
data is not leak. Our data is not leak also, and its storage problem also not there.
okay. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. You have pointed out very important aspects of technology, and there are also many proprietors here who face the problem which technology to be used. सर ने बहुत अच्छे नाम भी दिए हैं, आपने नोट डाउन भी किए होंगे आपके टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए. And now, after technology, I am moving toward the next important discussion with the Ashok sir. Ashok sir, which are the biggest challenges that you faced in managing growth? यानी कई बार कहा जाता है कि वो रामलिंगम राजू कि शेर के ऊपर चढ़ना बड़ा आसान था, बट बाद में मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कब उतरूं. तो वैसे ही कई बार हम बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की सोच रख के बना तो लेते हैं, बट देन व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस ऑफ दैट? लाइक प्रोप्राइटरी देयर आर फ्यू different sets of challenges. For partnership there are different set of challenges, and for the bigger firm there are different set of challenges. So how you have cope up with the different challenges in your phase of life?
फर्स्ट चैलेंज सुहास सर ने बताया आई एंड वी. सब मेरे इंसान को ऐसा लगता है सब ये काम मैं ही अकेला कर सकता हूँ. दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. मेन मिथ वही है क्योंकि अगर डेलीगेशन ऑफ वर्क आप जब तक नहीं करोगे तब तक तो पॉसिबल है. सब काम आप अकेले करना पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. इसलिए डेलीगेशन ऑफ वर्क करो. हाँ, आप सुपरवाइज करो, रीचेक करो, नो प्रॉब्लम, लेकिन डेलीगेशन ऑफ वर्क बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आणि वही एक किसी का स्पीड ऐसा तो लगता है ये काम मैं ज्यादा स्पीड से कर सकता हूँ, मैं अकेले इतनी स्पीड से कर सकता हूँ. नो डाउट, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट यू आफ्टर डेलीगेशन ऑफ वर्क देयर योर स्टाफ कैन improve that system, and day by day he also come to with your speed also. So अकेला आदमी तो इतना सब पॉसिबल करना पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. तीसरा, डू आई ग्रो फॉर पेइंग सच बिग मनी? इंसान को लगता है इतना इतना हेवी पे दे के मैं क्या कमाऊं. इसलिए हेवी पे दे अगर देना है तो उतना रिक्वायरमेंट है तो देना ही पड़ेगा. अगर आप 1 लाख रिसीट लेते हो तो 20,000 30,000 आपको अगर पे देता है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन आपको ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि मैं इतना हेवी पे दे रहा हूँ तो मुझे क्या मिल रहा है. तीसरा, ईगो ऑफ द सीनियर स्टाफ एंड एम्प्लॉइज. सीनियर स्टाफ और एम्प्लॉइज में ईगो नहीं आना चाहिए. वो ईगो वो आप सेटरेट उसके ऊपर ध्यान दो तो एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है. तीसरा, आई कैन डू. आदमी को ऐसा लगता है सब काम मैं अकेला कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन किसी भी हालत में पॉसिबल नहीं है. इसलिए अब डेलीगेशन ऑफ वर्क बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. और रिलेशन विद स्टाफ, रिलेशन ऑफ स्टाफ विद क्लाइंट. कभी कभी क्लाइंट का और स्टाफ का झगड़ा हो जाता है तो ठीक है, आपको स्टाफ को तो आपको सपोर्ट करना ही है, लेकिन क्लाइंट को आप अलग तरह से समझा कि क्लाइंट को डायरेक्ट क्लाइंट स्टाफ से नहीं बात करे. स्टाफ को या किस ब्लेम ना करे. जो भी ब्लेम है वो पहले आपसे करे, आपसे डिस्कस करे और आप स्टाफ को समझा के दिए. क्लाइंट डायरेक्टली स्टाफ को कोई भी ब्लेम ना करे. इतना ही ध्यान.
Yeah, correct. So very important discussion, Ashok sir, and you have given a right challenges which are there at the different area, the ego, the client management and staff management. uh, Now I am moving toward a very important point of the goal management. There are resources, but there are no money for the resources, because we know that we have to buy this, we have to invest in this, but in the initial phase of practice, it is not there. Slowly, we have investment, we have the amount to do, but where are the resources? Because we are not able to find the resources. So, Suhas sir, which are the factors needs to be taken care by a chartered accountant when he is expanding his service offering? Because many time it's come that you are not charging the fees which was already there at the initial stage of practice, then comes the new client, or you grow up and you have to charge something to that. And so how you take care of these factors when you expand your service or offerings?
See, as I said, if we wanted to give excellence, you have to be excellence first, and there has to be excellence word everywhere. Uh, Umiji, if I describe that, it's a small a story of the cat. If I make out mother cat and a small baby cat, that baby cat asked to the mother cat कि अपनी strength कहाँ पे है? तो mother cat says जो अपनी strength मेरे अपने पूंछ में रहती है. So that, and then she went away for the having all approach workout. So entire day that baby cat was trying to catch up the पूछ, और वो घूम घूमते रह गए वहां पे. When she came in the evening, mother, you said me a strength is there, but I cannot catch up the strength. There lies in our the system also. What is first? Your earning of money is 100% is been required for the us to work out, but simultaneously, if we are been providing an excellent service, after few years you will find that yes, your growth rate is always been on higher side. It was very surprising for me to see that when you are in a proprietorship concern, your income is below 20 lakhs. It's a receipts are below 20 lakhs, or income below 20 lakhs. That is a very diminishing factor for me to see in the opinion poll. What is the problem where is a lacking? Lacking is that in the initial stage, uh, are we not able to create infrastructure? Are we not able to give what is best we can give it to the client? And therefore, then you have a capacity to make it a lesser training approach to work. There I feel it. Yes, Umesh. There I feel it कि उमेश जी अगर हम right structure की बात करें, which I was referring in the beginning, if you have a right infrastructure, right amount of people along with you, and if you have been able to position yourself or you are giving the best service, I find in last 37 years, I find those challenges which are coming. So अशोक जी ने बताया challenges की बात थी. I considered those as being opportunity for my organization, and I think everywhere we can overcome that as a seeing as an opportunity, and we try to make out. Say, for example, a discipline. Discipline. If we lead by example, if I have to be in the office by 9:30, then naturally my all partners and my associates are to be there by 9:30. But
Correct.
खुद से discipline ला जाते आप. वैसे infrastructure की बात है. If I updated, if there is a meeting which I conduct every in a month for the giving a topic to work, automatically all my partners also think about having their smaller meeting in for their team which is willing to work out. So that culture, I again propagate that the culture of we has to be implemented to grow faster in the profession. There is a lot of scope for the profession as to work out, and I must agree myself even the new networking guidelines given by the institute with that those have been such a good guidelines, which I am also thinking yes, now I should thought of having that network of my student itself. The my means we the students which have been created under SPCM, those have crossed more than 300 plus in India. So that is what we are
Yes.
thinking now to go ahead from the networking also. So these are the things which you say you automatically grow if there is a brand. there is a network, there has been a people, right amount of people, like-minded people, there is bound to be a success.
Correct.
Your three
Yeah.
A's are important.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. As you have rightly pointed out. Now, अशोक सर,
हम्म,
ये सारे प्रोसेस में कई बार सितंबर की डेट आ जाती है, उसी टाइम सारे ऑडिट्स बहुत सारे क्लोज होते हैं, कई बार रिटर्न्स की डेट आती है, उसी टाइम सारा काम होता है, हम चर्चाएं तो बहुत कर लेते हैं, बट हाउ यू मैनेज क्वालिटी ऑफ वर्क इन योर ऑफिस?
First, set the process of the work. Documentation is very important. I have started office. Inward outward register is fully maintained. Email, messages, records जो भी आता है उसका पूरा रिकॉर्ड रखा जाता है. वो किसे अलर्ट हुआ उसका नाम, उससे पास से वापस सीनियर ने या पार्टनर ने उसका फॉलोअप लेना बहुत जरूरी है. और काम होने के बाद अपलोड कौन करता है उसका पूरा रिकॉर्डिंग रहता है और वापस वो दफ्तर जो उसका उसको फोन करके उसे डिलीवर किया जाता है, उसका साइन लिया जाता है. लेकिन इनवर्ड और आउटवर्ड रजिस्टर, चाहे इनकम टैक्स में कुछ जवाब दिया हुआ है, सेल टैक्स में दिया हुआ है, जीएसटी में कुछ जवाब दिया हुआ है, उसका भी इनवर्ड आउटवर्ड हमारे पास अप टू डेट रहता है किसी भी हालत में. दूसरा, डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन शुड कम विद रिव्यू, यानी जो डिसेंट्रलाइज किया उसका रिव्यू लेता है, उसका चेकलिस्ट है हमारे पास, किसने काम किया है, किसको अलर्ट किया है, वापस उसका फॉलोअप किसने लिया है. उसके बाद पहले तो स्टार्ट योर वर्क अर्ली. 1982 से मैं सुबह 8:15 AM को मेरा ऑफिस शुरू होता है. मैं खुद 8:15 AM में आता हूँ. 1982 से आज तक. मेरा लड़का 2005 में सीए हुआ अभिजीत मोदी, वो भी 2005 से सुबह 8:15 में ऑफिस में आता है. 8:15 to 9 हम दोनों ही डिस्कस करते हैं, बाकी दोनों पार्टनर. ऑफिस शुरू होता है 9:30 से ऑफिस शुरू होता है. आर्टिकल स्टार्ट होते हैं 10:30 to 11. लेकिन सबसे पहले हम आते हैं तो वो फॉलोअप हमारा आर्टिकल आगे लिया जाता है. अगर हम खुद ही लेट आने लगे तो आर्टिकल स्टाफ भी अपना लेट आने लग जाएगा, उससे कोई ये नहीं होगा. दूसरा, स्पीडी डिस्पोजल ऑफ वर्क. मैंने आज तक 42 ईयर्स के प्रैक्टिस में कभी भी ड्यू डेट के 2 दिन पहले काम नहीं किया. अगर 30 पर डेट होगी तो 29 को ही काम खत्म हुआ है मेरे ऑफिस का. रिकॉर्ड है हमारे ऑफिस का. टैक्स ऑडिट भी पहले आखिरी 2 दिन में मैंने कभी हमारे ऑफिस में काम नहीं किया और कभी भी रात को लेट नाइट काम नहीं हुआ है. अप्रैल में टैक्स ऑडिट शुरू हो जाते हैं. अप्रैल में हम फॉलोअप अकाउंटेंट को और पार्टी को फॉलोअप शुरू हो जाते हैं. अकाउंटेंट भी बोर हो जाते हैं, पहले इसका दे दो फिर दूसरे सीए का लगो तो रिकॉर्ड देंगे, पहले ये बहुत फॉलोअप करते इनका पहले दे दो. दूसरा कि रिलेशन विद स्टाफ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर जो स्टाफ खर अप्रिशिएट करता है उनको अप्रिशिएट करो. उनका हमारा मंथली मीटिंग है, वीकली हमारे पास एक स्टडी ग्रुप रहता है. हर वीक में मेरा एक पार्टनर है अभिजीत, लड़का जो अभिजीत, एक दूसरा संकेत जैन. हर वीक में सब स्टाफ को आर्टिकल्स को ट्रेनिंग दिया जाता है. सैटरडे को 1 घंटा 1.5 घंटा का डेली ट्रेनिंग रहता है वीकली. उसके बाद प्रोफेशनल रहो, पोलाइट रहो लेकिन बी प्रोफेशनल. तो फोन पे ही किसको एडवाइस देना, रास्ते में मिल गए तो एडवाइस दी जाए नहीं. जो है आप फोन पे ऑफिस में आओ, वक्त लेके आओ, ऑफिस में आओ, वहां बात करेंगे. आप चार्ज क्या करते हो वो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, लेकिन अपना प्रोफेशनल इथिक्स जो वो करो, पोलाइट बात करो. ठीक है, फोन पे मत डिस्कस करो. जो आपको हाँ इमरजेंसी कर रहा है फोन पे डिस्कस कर दो, लेकिन आप वक्त लेके ऑफिस पे आ जाओ, वहां आप डिस्कस करेंगे. नहीं तो अब रास्ते मिल गए या शादी में कहीं मिल गए वही डिस्कशन होगा. ये नहीं, ये कभी नहीं मैं करता हूँ. दूसरा, अगर कोई ऐसा वर्क जो आपने को नहीं करना है तो नहीं कहने के लिए हिम्मत रखो. चाहे पोलाइटली कहो लेकिन नहीं, ये काम मैं नहीं करूंगा. अगर जो काम नहीं इथिकली नहीं है वो मत करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम मत करो. दूसरा, ऑलमोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, कीप अपडेटिंग योर सेल्फ. जो आपको खुद को अपडेट. पहले हमारा डेली 1 to 1.5 आवर मेरा रीडिंग होता था. अभी क्या होगा, सब गूगल पे सर्च होने लग गए. पहले हमें साइटेशन ढूंढने पड़ते थे फेवर में, तो अभी तो गूगल में फेवर डालो, आगे डालो, सब डिसीजन आ जाते हैं. लेकिन तब हमें आईटीआर और सीटीआर में सब सर्च करना पड़ता था, इतना वक्त जाता था. 4 सीएम एक साथ बैठते थे रीडिंग में. अभी रीडिंग का ही कम हो गया. पहले डेली 1.5 आवर हमारा रीडिंग होता था.
करेक्ट.
और कभी भी लर्न करने में शाय मत करो. मैं कितना सीनियर हूँ, इतना जूनियर, मैं इस जूनियर से कैसे सीखूं. कोई बात नहीं, लर्न करना. जो लर्न होता है उससे, चाहे अपना जूनियर हो लेकिन उससे अगर कुछ सीखने जैसा हो तो सीखो. उसमें ये मत शाय मत करो.
Yes, sir. You have given your lessons of life for many of young chartered accountant that कैसे काम होना चाहिए. 29 सितंबर को ही आप सारा काम फिनिश कर देते हो. That is the very skill set and that gives the time management and also the quality management of work. Thank you, sir, for this important disclosure. Suhas sir, You started your practice with a one area, now you are expanded in different areas.
Yes.
So what are the important factors to be considered when you offer a new service or a new offering is there in your office? How do you look from that? How you set up that?
Uh, you rightly said, Umeji, I started my profession with indirect taxes. In those days, chartered accountants were not known for doing the indirect tax practice. And there, I took up a challenge to start with the indirect taxes practice, which makes us is a unique in those days to start with on that level. And then gradually, once you start with indirect taxes, it naturally comes the direct tax also. Then, as I said, I go on building the team right from the first day. So, जैसे जैसे team बढ़ता गया, वैसे वैसे then I shifted my focus from indirect taxes from the lower level to the only at higher level of practicing at only appellate forum. Then my brother joined to me. Then I decided to stop even that also. I fully focused on the direct taxes. Initially, only on the appeals level, then now on tribunal, then I've shifted because the team has been created in such a fashion where now I can give a time only for the things which I like to work. And therefore, today I can decide to make even uh, starting the PhD for the topic which has been there of in my like uh, because in the initial days of practice I had been I've been given a faith of those people who are in the jewelry industry, and therefore I decided to have a topic for my PhD also on the financial patterns for the jewelry industry as to work out. So this gives me a topic right from the beginning so that if you accept the challenge, go on the workout, create a team, create infrastructure, make them updated properly, and accordingly we work on that level to work. You have
Correct.
made my next generation also, Umesh. You are knowing okay, what is been my daughter-in-law is doing, what my son is doing. It's only because of that knowledge building is a creation main for our success, and that knowledge we make out through group discussion to appearance with the various conferences, making my team to take to the national conferences, entire team has been there, and that gives them a very friendly atmospheres to work out. Apart from the work, we also have a culture to make out. Here we have that disciplinary working also. There is a dress code which we have to maintain. There is a dress code which we can make it on the holiday also. That gives us a more motivation for me to make my team further. And today also, we are saying, yes, I am also a student right now. As we rightly said by Ashok ji, one should not feel to learn. So even if some my junior comes with me, I have a different interpretation. I sat with him and say, let us read the provision one more time, again in front of him also. And then we find it that there is a solution to the problem. If that is the right kind of approach, you have to go ahead to make a success in the profession.
Correct. So very important that you have changed your own role in your office from
Yes,
income tax to GST to tribunal. So a leader is leading by the example. So whenever a new services is offered, you first put your
yes,
all efforts in that, then you build the team, and then you
correct,
hand it over to the other
correct.
team and go ahead. So
Yes,
by this way you can grow in your office. This is
multiple.
very important learning, very important learning. Now let's move to next, because we have a shorter time and we have a long discussion here. But yes, members, you will agree that you have an opinion poll also to answer on the goal management. Please go and do it, and also listen to the all panelists and note it down. So now I am again moving to Ashok sir. Ashok sir, how you ensure your office culture to be maintained, because clients many times join new, there are old clients, there are old staff, there is also a new staff, there are challenges, there are many issues of ethics in a CA practice. So how you have maintained the culture of your office?
First, we are the role model of our employees and articles. Suhas sir rightly said, our dress code. First, you being in your office, you must professional dress yourself. Your work culture is that they will follow, your staff and article will follow. If you in office, you if अगर लैपटॉप पे आप 2 घंटा खेलते बैठोगे तो आपका स्टाफ क्या करेगा? वही करेगा. इसलिए आप क्या करते हो वही रोल मॉडल आपका स्टाफ करेगा, इसलिए आप एटलीस्ट इन ऑफिस बी प्रोफेशनल। हाँ, ऑफिस के बाहर आपको जो है वो आप, लेकिन ऑफिस में आप खुद प्रोफेशनल हो तो आपका स्टाफ से, आपके स्टाफ से क्या उम्मीद रखोगे आप? दूसरा, द ट्रस्ट अमंग एम्प्लॉइज एंड क्लाइंट इज ऑलमोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। एम्प्लॉइज एंड क्लाइंट के बीच में ट्रस्ट होना चाहिए, एम्प्लॉइज का और क्लाइंट का रिलेशन वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसमें उन्होंने दोनों में ट्रस्ट होना चाहिए। उसका ट्रीटिंग द स्टाफ एज अ फैमिली, हमें फैमिली का एक पूरा स्टाफ का गेट टुगेदर मंथली था दिया, हाफ ईयरली या थर्ड मंथली 3 महीने में एक बार तो स्टाफ से गेट टुगेदर रखो, उनका क्या प्रॉब्लम है वो डिस्कस करो, उनके उनसे ऐसा जस्ट लाइक अ फैमिली, और जिन्होंने काम अच्छा किया उनको अप्रिशिएट भी करो। उसके बाद अवॉइड लास्ट मिनट वर्क, मैंने वही कहा, लास्ट मिनट वर्क तक अवॉइड करो, कभी भी लास्ट मिनट वर्क नहीं करना चाहिए। शुरू में किया तो मैं आज तक, हमें रात को ऑफिस 10 बजे के आगे तो कभी सीजन में भी खोला नहीं रहा हमारा ऑफिस बिफोर 10। और कभी अगर ओवर कमिटमेंट होता है तो उनको नहीं कहने की भी हिम्मत रखो, नहीं ये काम नहीं होगा मुझसे, तो आप खाली ले लो स्टाफ करेगा, ले लो स्टाफ करेगा, दैट इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट।
Correct. So this is very important that you treat your office as a second home, as a family, so that the culture of the office will also maintain. This is very important learning from you side. Now again back to Suhas Bora sir. Sir, how you attract new talent or a good talent or a top talent in your office? What is the procedure you adopt for the deployment of the manpower, or how you attract the talent? As you have said that you send your team to different conferences, also they interact, they network, and they also develop their own sub team. So what are more things which a CA should keep in mind to attract new talent in his office? Because हर बार कहा जाता है कि लोग नहीं मिलते, अच्छे लोग नहीं मिलते. So how you answer it?
ओके, अच्छे लोग तो मिलते हैं उमेश जी, आपको आपका कल्चर डिफाइन होता है, बट आई मस्ट एडमिट दैट कि व्हेन आई वाज बीन co-opted member of your committee which you are been vice chairman right now, vice president right now, I find out one good solution for me, for my office also. It was a matter of 7 or 8 years before. And there has been the issue of women chartered accountants, those who have been married women chartered accountants. And they find that there is a problem for them to have an entire full-time working, or which is not feasible for them. So I decided to adopt those married women chartered accountant in my office. And I find it that even if they are working for multiple hours, flexibility hours, they give a result more than for a full-time chartered accountant who is working in my office. Because they are very suit when they come 9 to 1, they are strict 9 to 1 to on their job, and what the returns they gave it, I find them and their satisfaction again. I must give the feedback which they have given to me, sir. You have given us a opportunity where we can explicitly show our talent, and I find such a very beautiful tool which I am useful for the purpose of me to seek out on saying that कि अगर हम ये ऐसे प्रैक्टिस चालू कर लेते कि जहाँ पे वुमेन चार्टर्ड अकाउंट के लिए वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की बात करते हैं हम, उसमें अगर ये रोल प्ले होता है उनको, तो उसके लिए जरूरी ऐसे इश्यू होता है उसमें कि ऐसे अपॉर्चुनिटी आपको टैलेंट उसी में मिलते हैं जहां पे हम कर सकते हैं वर्किंग टू वर्क. सिमिलरली यू फाइंड दैट कि जब भी नए टैलेंट्स आते हैं, इफ यू अपग्रेड देम, इफ यू स्पेंड सम टाइम, इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम फॉर अपग्रेडिंग देमसेल्फ, देन यू फाइंड इट कि देयर इज बीन अ रोल which you make out as a mentoring, and then you have I have given guidelines to every my head of the department of my team, where he also make them the same amount of training, same amount of investment they make out, and that is how the staff which has been at a very beginning level also, within a span of 6 to 7 months, he started delivering the rewards to us which were magnificent, and there they find it that they also are a right place. There has been a scope for their value addition. There is importance has been given to their views also, and simultaneously they also learn so many things more. We also learn from them. That is what the beauty which we got it, and therefore the way I make out that is the way I make out my talent in my office. Therefore, जो आपने कहा था बिगिनिंग में कि अच्छे लोग नहीं मिलते, ये ऐसे नहीं है. अच्छे लोग मिलते हैं, प्रोवाइडेड आपको वो थिंकिंग विजन चाहिए कि कैसे आगे चलेगा उसमें.
करेक्ट। और सुहास सर एक कहावत है कि
और एक खाली बोलना बुद्ध, फिर आपका सुनते हो उमेश जी, कि अप्रेजल जो है, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल की बात रखता हूं मैं, वो परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल भी ये लोगों का होता है, और वो परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल मेरे हायरार्की से ऊपर आता है कि द पर्सन हु इज बीन द पार्टनर इन चार्ज ऑफ दैट, he make out that appraisal, and then independent there has been a committee of our senior partners who also appraise, and lastly मैं और मेरा co colleague partner है, we take a decision on there कि what type of rewards to be given, what type of punishment, I will not say word, but where will be some sort of instruction will be given to them that saying that there will be a carrot and stick approach if you do not perform well. So if you have a place to work here, you have to perform and deliver, then only organization will work. Yes, Umesh, now.
करेक्ट। एज यू राइटली पॉइंटेड आउट सर, कि अगर हम मूंगफली फेंकेंगे तो बंदरी आएंगे, आप बादाम फेंकोगे तो इंसान आएंगे. तो हाउ यू गिव द परफॉर्मेंस अप्राइजल to your staff will also determine their retaining of the talent and also attracting the talent. So this is a very important learning, that you must give women their empowerment to grow. Then again you have said upgradation and appraisal of the knowledge. This is very important. Now Ashok sir, how you ensure communication channel remain open and effective as the office grows? Because many time it's happen कि क्लाइंट कहता है कि यार ये तो बड़े हो गए, अब ये ऑफिस के अंदर मेरे को साहब लोगों को मिलने को जाने को टाइम नहीं है, नीचे के ये पार्टनर से बात होती है या स्टाफ से बात होती है, या कई बार अपना भी ऐसा हो जाता है कि यार कौन क्लाइंट आ रहा है कौन जा रहा है मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा है. सो हाउ यू मैनेज कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम बिटवीन योर सेल्फ, योर स्टाफ एंड योर क्लाइंट?
First, the boss is always available to the employee in emergency. The employees and articles should be responsible, but from client perspective, office is responsible. Though in office here, employees and articles should be responsible, but for client purpose perspective, office is responsible. कभी बॉस दिन में कब आता है कब जाते हैं स्टाफ को भी पता नहीं चलता है, क्योंकि अभी का तो इंटरेक्शन मैंने से देखा, कभी सीए भी 11-12 बजे दोपहर में 12 बजे ऑफिस जाते, 2 बजे घर पे जाते, वापस शाम को आते भी नहीं, यार शाम को फोन पे पूछ लेते क्या हुआ, कौन आया कौन गया. इट इज नॉट करेक्ट. आप खुद इमरजेंसी में स्टाफ को अवेलेबल होना बहुत जरूरी है. दूसरा, यू शुड हैव गुड ईयर टू लिसन टू ऑल. सबसे तुम सीखो, जिसका भी आपको क्वेरी में पहले तुम सीख लो, सबसे पहले सुन लो उसका प्रॉब्लम क्या है, वो पहले सुनने के बाद आपका डिसीजन शुरू करो. तो क्या है, वो सामने वाला बात करते तभी अपन उससे बात करना शुरू कर देते. उसका जब कंप्लीट हो जाए तब आप उसका फिल्टर कर लो, फिल्टर आपको जो रिक्वायर्ड क्या बात करना है वो बात करो, लेकिन पहले सामने वाले की बात पूरा सुन लो. उसके बाद नेवर से टू नो. लर्निंग एंड सजेशन जिसका भी आता है, चाहे स्टाफ का हो, चाहे आर्टिकल हो, चाहे क्लाइंट का हो, लर्निंग आप सुन तो लो, कम से कम उसका सजेशन सुन लो. फिर आपको क्या करना है, आप अपने दिमाग में क्या लेना है क्या नहीं लेना है वो छोड़ दो, लेकिन पहले क्या करता है सुन लो. कभी कभी ऐसा हो तो सामने वाला बात करता है, अपन उनसे बात करते काट देते, नहीं ये ऐसा नहीं, क्या है सुन तो लो, सुनने में क्या देता. अब फिर आपको जो करना है वो आप ठहरा ना, फिर आपको उसका क्या गलत है उसको बाद में समझा के बताओ, लेकिन उसका बात करते ही उसे मत काटो. दूसरा, मोटिवेशन और एप्रिसिएशन स्टाफ में दो. स्टाफ के लिए मोटिवेशन एप्रिसिएशन दो. 1 डे वीक फॉर लर्निंग ग्रोइंग रिसोर्सेज रखो. तुम एक अपना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हफ्ते में एक बार तो भी लर्निंग और ग्रोइंग का स्टाफ के लिए लर्निंग चाहिए, और स्टाफ की भी क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी, स्टाफ के क्या इश्यू वो सुनने चाहिए. एक हफ्ते में एक दिन तो भी, या 2 घंटा हफ्ते में, एक एवरी सैटरडे एवरी फ्राइडे 1-2 घंटा 3 घंटा स्टाफ के साथ आप डिस्कस करवाना.
Correct. So this is very important, that listening to the staff, listening to the client, even though that may be a problematic client, but you must listen to him. It may be some issue from the staff, you must listen to him, analyze it, and then deliver. So this is very important learning from Ashok sir. Now we are moving to 2000 plus participants. This is the beauty of panel discussion. We started with 1000, 1100, and slowly we now reach 2000 plus. So congratulations to Suhas sir, Ashok sir, both the panelists. ये जो टॉपिक का हमारा प्लानिंग था, our purpose was this, that to keep it interesting, to give our members a growth oriented practice approach, and this is the first series on goal management. I again request all the participants to join the opinion poll, give your opinion in the first opinion poll also, and another opinion poll of the goal management. Then we have a valuation practice area discussion, third opinion poll is there, and at last there is a feedback opinion poll is there. And a CA is known by his opinion. Those who are not giving opinion, then what type of request we can make to them? Please share your knowledge for the betterment of our other brothers and sisters in the profession. Your opinion counts most, so please go and give your opinion. Now it's a time to have a concluding session. Before that, a last and a question to both of you. First to Ashok Modi sir. Sir, how effectively you manage your resources for future growth? What is your plan for the future growth?
First, planning is must. One day planning, 1 month, 1 year, 3 years planning is must. अंडरस्टैंड द स्किल ऑफ एम्प्लॉय. पहले स्किल, आपके हर एक एम्प्लॉय का स्किल आप जान लो, कौन एम्प्लॉय किसमें मास्टर है, किसमें है, उस हिसाब से उसे काम का प्लानिंग करो, मोटिवेट करो उन्हें. टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन होना चाहिए, अपग्रेडेशन होना चाहिए, कंटिन्यूअस इंप्रूवमेंट एंड इफिशिएंसी चाहिए. रिपीटेटिव वर्क जो है वही अवॉइड करो और ट्रेन द रिसोर्सेज. वेन एवरी डे बर्डन, ड्यू डेट का बर्डन नहीं रहता है, जब भी ड्यू डेट का बर्डन नहीं रहता है तब आप अपने स्टाफ को ट्रेन करो, या उनको कोई रिसोर्सेज दो, उनसे मीटिंग करो, या उन्हें कई लेक्चर मीटिंग उनके लिए अरेंज करो. और सीनियर जूनियर टीम, हमारे ऑफिस में एक जूनियर और एक सीनियर स्टाफ की जुड़े रहते हैं. एक जूनियर आर्टिकल, एक सीनियर आर्टिकल, दोनों जूनियर है, दोनों सीनियर कभी नहीं रहते. यानी वो जूनियर, जो सीनियर जो है वो जूनियर के साथ तैयार हो जाता है. और रिपोर्टिंग इज मस्ट, रिपोर्टिंग ऑफ वर्क मस्ट. वीकली डेली डायरी लिखा जाता है हर एक स्टाफ का, चाहे वो आर्टिकल हो या फील्ड स्टाफ, उसका डायरी लिखा जाता है. और हर सैटरडे को सब पार्टनर मिलकर वो डायरी, 1 घंटा डायरी चेकिंग होता है. उसमें उसे कुछ रिमार्क देना है या कुछ उसे सजेशन देना है, वो सजेशन मस्ट होता है. लेकिन एवरी वीक डायरी चेक होता ही है सब, चाहे वो आर्टिकल हो या स्टाफ.
यस. और अशोक सर, मेन पॉइंट, आपके फर्म को आप नेक्स्ट ईयर में किस लेवल पे लेके जाना चाह रहे हो? व्हाट इज योर गोल फॉर नेक्स्ट ईयर?
क्लाइंटल लेवल जो है, तो क्लाइंटल लेवल पे, लेकिन आई एम प्रैक्टिसिंग इन नासिक, देयर आर लिमिटेशन ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. अब लड़का अभिजीत तो था, राजन होरा जी के पास था, लेकिन वही वहां का प्रैक्टिस में नासिक में मेनली वही इनकम और ट्रेडिशनल प्रैक्टिस चल रहा है. इनकम टैक्स अभी तो चेंज नहीं कर सकते, इनकम टैक्स और जीएसटी के डिपार्टमेंट अलग है, और इनकम टैक्स तो उसी लेवल पे है कि मैं तो अभी ये ठीक हुआ एट द एज ऑफ 66, लेकिन अभिजीत को मैं अपीलेट में ही मास्टर करना चाहता हूँ.
Great. So you have a vision to take your practice at next knowledge level, and when you have a knowledge, तो wealth will come and follow. जैसा कहा जाता है कि सरस्वती की आराधना करो तो लक्ष्मी आपो आप आएगी पीछे. So that is your. Now I am moving to the concluding question with Suhas sir. Suhas sir, you have grown from 1 person to a 300 plus person company with your firm. Company no, it's a firm. We know that you have very large spectrum of goals. So what is your goal for this year for your office?
For next goal for my office is that we have to build up a network with the new guidelines which have been there, and through networking we wanted to expand across the country, because I find it all my students who passed under me are been practicing in entire country. So there we will be having that HPCM is been the flagship for the nationwide and probably later on at international level also. And our HPCM doesn't go for with the name of our partners to work out. We have given that it's a sincerity, professionalism, commitment is our motto. And with that principle, with that is keeping in mind, my students are being we are a team of those people which I say, which will be like-minded people. And if we have that network, maybe that network can become a more international network in coming years to come. That is my next dream to
Great, great,
look after to
great,
account.
great, great, sir. So, friends, now the time has come to discuss on the total discussion of 1 hour. You never know कि ये 1 घंटा कहाँ खत्म हुआ. ऐसा लग रहा है कि सुहास सर एंड अशोक सर को हम सुनते ही रहे, बट कोई भी अच्छी चीज है उसका कहीं ना कहीं हमको रुकना पड़ता है एक दूसरी अच्छी चीज शुरू करने के लिए, बिकॉज वी हैव अनदर सेशन आल्सो देयर on the value valuation, which is a new area, which is a one of the prominent area of practice. Many of us may not be doing it, but we'll do it in future after listening to this session. So to conclude this session, I am very happy to share my screen. Here we can go through the goal management questions. Near about 200 participants have given their views on this goal management in CA office, and whatever we have discussed, that is reflected here in front of you, Suhas sir and Ashok sir. And still the opinion poll is open. Those people who have not given their opinion, please give it. So let's start with our first question, which we asked: what is the goal management in a CA office? This was the first question. Managing the office's goal, managing the goal of individual CAs, managing the goal of the client, managing the goal of competitors. This was the first question. And what is our response? The maximum number of response in this area of response, first question, 64% says managing the office's goals. So this is very important. Office is a team, and if we have a team goal, then we will grow, because other answers were having an individual, client specific was only an outward goal, and for competitor it was not an correct answer. But the correct answer is given by 64%, that is managing the office goal, which covers a comprehensive this. So thanks for your responses in this area. Now then we had a second: how can CAs set effective goals? After discussion, the participants have given that all of the above are very important here, that one should be have a SMART goal, which must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. कोई भी गोल आप सेट करते हो तो उसको टाइम दीजिए, आपका खुद का बजटिंग करिए कि एक साल में मुझे टर्नओवर 10% बढ़ाना है, 20% बढ़ाना है, मुझे स्टाफ को ट्रेनिंग देना है, क्लाइंट नई सर्विस शुरू करनी है. यू मस्ट हैव अ टाइम बाउंड approach. Involve your team member, consider external factor for goal setting. All of the above were the answer, and very important was the specific goal. Then what is the first step in goal management? This is the response from our participants. Number one, setting goal. 75%, 73% said that the setting of goal is the first step. And yes, today we discuss this in our GYP-1. This is the first session on goal management. Next session will be on the other aspect, other strategies of our office. And then comes the developing a plan. This is very important. Those who have set their goals, now their vision is on developing, and those who have developed, now they have to allocate. And after allocation, then there is a progress measuring, which is a very important step. So friends, let's start from today. Set your goal and go ahead. मेरी आप सबसे विशेष विनंती है कि गोल सेट करिए आपके ऑफिस के अंदर, चाहे आप छोटे प्रोप्राइटरी क्यों ना हो, पार्टनरशिप क्यों ना हो, बट आपका एक गोल सेट होना चाहिए. और गोल ये हर साल बदलते रहना चाहिए. सेम सेट ऑफ गोल अगर आप 4 साल 5 साल तक चला रहे हो तो मीन्स देयर इज नो डेवलपमेंट, देयर इज नो प्रोग्रेस. Now, what is the purpose of performance feedback in a goal management? This was very important question, and all of the above factors are very important. That is to motivate the employees, to encourage the goal attainment, and to identify areas of improvements. Out of that, to identify areas of improvement is also selected by 10%. Very good response here. Then how often should performance feedback be measured? Once in a year, 7%, once in a quarter, 24%, once in a month, 23%, and as frequently as possible, says 44%. So friends, have weekly or at least monthly meetings and get the feedbacks from your staff and see that your goals are achieved or not. Then how can a CA set achievable goals? Very important is 95% says by setting goals that are specific, measurable, and attainable. This is very important because as a CA, we must be very specific. We must be able to measure our goals. We must be able to review and achieve that goal in time-bound manner. Then next, how can a CA motivate their team to achieve their goals? 75% say by providing regular feedback and recognition. But very interestingly, 50% say that they don't have a training or a meeting for training in their office. So how they will get regular feedback? So have a weekly meeting to get the regular feedback. Have a practice management software. ICI is providing practice management software. It's by free of cost. You can download it from the committee of members in practice, from the CA Cloud website, and use it for the practice management so you can get the feedback and grow your practice. Then how can a goal management help with the time management? This is very important. This is 85% say by setting priorities and deadline. Ashok sir said, Suhas sir said that they finish their work within time, before time. So how they do it? So that is very important, that you must set your timelines and achieve. Then what is the benefit of involving employees in goal setting? बिकॉज मेनी टाइम बॉस ने बोल दिया तो करना है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, दोनों साइड से अप्रोच होना चाहिए. तो 70% says that all of above are very important because it increase employees engagement, it's motivate them, its result gives goals are achieved in realistic way, and it give different perspectives and ideas. तो एक डेमोक्रेटिक वे में ऑफिस चलना चाहिए. एंड द लास्ट क्वेश्चन वाज हाउ कैन गोल मैनेजमेंट हेल्प विद रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, बिकॉज द रिस्क आर ऑलवेज देयर इन प्रैक्टिस. सो 93% सेज बाय आइडेंटिफाई पोटेंशियल रिस्क एंड टेकिंग प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स. तो आपके ऑफिस के अंदर क्या इश्यू है ये आइडेंटिफाई करिए और उसको रिस्क समझ के उसको कैसे मिटिगेट कर सकते हैं सोचिए. हो सकता है मैन पावर का रिस्क हो, नॉलेज का रिस्क हो, क्लाइंट का रिस्क हो, या आपको और कोई रिस्क हो. तो प्लीज ट्राई एंड रिड्यूस द रिस्क. So this was our discussion. This was the opinion given by our participants. Thanks to all the participants who have given their opinions. So this is very important discussions. I hope you all must have enjoyed this discussion. So thank you, Ashok sir. Thank you, Suhas sir. Be in line. We are going to start the another session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's start our another session. Please onboard our Drushti ma'am also on the site. Drushti ma'am. And we have another panelist, Sumit. We have Sumit ji. Yes, you have seen participants that how to set a goal. Many of us have set a goal that we want to grow. So how to grow in practice? If you want to grow in practice, you have to look out from your conventional areas of practice to the new areas. And today, for the next session, we have the valuation experts. They will guide you how to start the valuation practice, and also they will increase your valuation, your firm's valuation also in future. So ये एक dual purpose था अपना. So let's start our discussion on valuation. Again, for all participants, there is an opinion poll on valuation practice also. Please go through that. And the results which of the opinion poll will be shown at the end of this session. We have Drushti ma'am. Drushti ma'am is a partner in Bansi Mehta and Company. This company is one of the, this firm is one of the prominent firm in valuation as well as in taxation. And those who are in Western region and those who are in valuation practice know how big name it is. And Drushti Desai ma'am is very socially active also. She contributes a lot in knowledge, and also in our institute. She was the past regional council member in WIRC, vice chairperson in WIRC, and yes, शी हैज अ दूर दृष्टि, उनके नाम में ही है दृष्टि। तो वो आगे की प्लानिंग कैसे करनी है उसके ऊपर मैम हमको बताएंगे। और साथ में सेकंड पैनलिस्ट है सुमित डब्बा जी। सुमित जी, welcome. You have been there from the first session. Madam is also there from the first session. And Sumit ji is having a rich experience in audit and accounting standards. And then he moved towards the valuation practice. He has spent his initial years in PwC as well as KPMG Bahrain. So he has a very good experience from out of India also. And many many things he is doing. He is a registered valuer as well as a insolvency professional, and he has served on the board of many of the companies. So welcome you both the panelists. Hope you are enjoying our session. This is a very unique discussions. So let's start our first discussion on the valuation related, because many participants are there. When we have gone through the statistics of participants, 0 to 5 years, there are 62% participants. So young members are there. So they are looking for a new area of practice. And our session's heading is how to start and grow the valuation practice. So first question to Drushti ma'am. What's differentiate valuation practice from traditional set of a practice, and how a traditional CA can venture into valuation practice? Over to you, Drushti ma'am.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Umesh bhai, for giving this wonderful opportunity. It's a very good program that you have here. It will be very helpful, and considering that there are so many participants, 60 participants who are less than 5 years in practice, they are deciding their course in the practice. So this is a very opportune program for everyone. Okay, so I will just tell you one thing, that whenever we write our valuation report, there's always one paragraph which says valuation is an art. It is not a science. So it's not like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so that's the very first difference. When we are into traditional practice, we just look at the factual numbers, we certify, we do the assurance based on the factual numbers and factual position. And if we have a lot of what do I say, guidance and backup from the institute on what kind of caveats and guarded positions we can give. When it comes to valuation, it's a new area, though there are valuation standards which have come up, which gives us at least some guidance and some framework within which we can work, and what kind of caveats we can have in our report. But when it comes to valuation, it is highly judgment based. So if I were to differentiate between a traditional area of practice and valuation, I would say valuation requires you to go beyond just the numbers which are there with you. It is perception based and it is very subjective also. But whatever is done by the valuer has to be backed up by the understanding or the belief and enough documentation. So when it comes to documentation, again, it is very much similar to traditional practice, where you have to have evidence for the various positions which are taken. So even in valuation, one needs to have enough evidence for the positions which are taken. So you need your backup documents by way of whatever data you have collected from empirical sources, from various reports available in public domain or specifically available to you, and various things. But you will form a judgment on the basis of that, and you will come to some conclusion. The factual data which will be available with you will form a small basis. Like, for example, both Sumitji and myself, if we both are given that okay, company X is earning profit of 10, okay, now I may come to a value of 500 on that, and he may come to a value of 250 on that. So it is as subjective. So it is not exactly a science, it is very subjective, it's an art. But again, one has to be very, very careful on the evidence and should have substantial basis for taking certain positions which a valuer needs to take. So I hope I have cleared, this is a very difficult question
Correct.
to start off with.
या बट यू हैव राइटली स्टार्टेड दृष्टि मैम कि जो कन्वेंशनल एरियाज ऑफ प्रैक्टिस है उसमें कुछ सेट है, कुछ एक्ट्स है, कुछ रूल्स है, कुछ फॉर्मेट्स है जिसमें आपको काम करना है, आगे बढ़ना है. बट इन व्हेन यू कम डाउन टू द वैल्यूएशन, इट इज अ मोर ऑफ अ जजमेंटल, मोर ऑफ एविडेंस बेस्ड. इट्स लाइक अ आर्ट, इट्स आल्सो अ स्टैटिस्टिक्स, and it can change from one valuer to another valuer. So one's perception and another's perception may change. So don't worry. Even if there is a change in perception, give your opinion in valuation. नहीं तो कई बार होता है कि मैं इस केस लॉ को यूज करूं या इस सेक्शन का मैं अलग इंटरप्रिटेशन करूं. सो डोंट वरी ऑफ योर इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ वैल्यूएशन. डू द वैल्यूएशन and start your practice is the key which Drushti ma'am has given to us. Now over to you, Sumit ji. सुमेश जी, मेनी पीपल अज्यूम कि वैल्यूएशन ये सीए का बॉल गेम नहीं है, ये कोई मर्चेंट बैंकर या कोई बैंकर करता है. और कई बार वो वैल्यूएशन की अगर क्लाइंट की रिक्वायरमेंट आती भी है तो वो बोलता है कि अच्छा ठीक है, वो आपका बैंकर देख लेगा या मुझे नहीं आता. सो हाउ a young new CA should start valuation practice, and what type of qualification is also required for a CA to start the valuation practice? Over to you, Sumi.
So good evening, Umesh Sharma sir and Rishi ma'am and fellow colleague speakers. So first of all, I congratulate you for this novel thought, which will definitely help many practicing CAs to come up, and this is the need of the hour. Now coming to why this thought have evolved. So earlier, before 24th May 2018, valuation was game of for all practicing chartered accountants. Then one amendment came in Income Tax Act, which says that now in Income Tax Act, whenever we are issuing shares under DCF methodology, then that report can only be issued by a merchant banker. So that is only for income tax, one particular section, that too only for issue of equity shares. But by and large, people all have assumed that now it is only for merchant bankers, which is not that so. Now, if we take example how a young practitioners can develop, so there are many areas. So the first basic qualification, and as we rightly said, we need to grow our practice, so we need to go beyond our comfort zone. We did our CA, it's very good, but beyond CA, there are more qualifications. So I need to pursue registered valuation course. So our ICRVU conducts 50 hours course, which you need to pass an exam, MCQ. Then you got a license to do registered valuation as per Companies Act. If for any reason I am not able to do that course today, then still as a CA, I can do many valuations under FIMA, under Income Tax Act, under RBI Act, under banking laws. So there are many places which are open where you can still do that, and your certification is valid. Only because only in income tax, whenever a company issues at DCF, discounted cash flow method, there only the merchant banker requirement comes in. But if you talk about all Mofassil areas where small areas, so merchant bankers are not mandatory required. A young practitioners can easily do that. So today morning, I was having a discussion with a CA in Pune. He just started his practice 2 years back, and only in FEMA he does that. So he only does FEMA valuation. He become an expert of FEMA valuations in entire Pune youngsters. So that way, it is not a challenge. Any youngster can start this practice, and nobody need to get scared of valuation that, oh, this is not my area, I'm doing it first time. So I still remember a very, very, very interesting incident which happened with ICI event. So in ICI did an event in 2019, and Professor Ashwat Damodaran who is considered as a valuation guru, came to Mumbai for ICA event. So one young chartered accountant asked this question to him, "Sir, I'm afraid. What if I do this valuation practice and I do something wrong in it? Because being a newcomer, being a new practitioner, I'm always afraid. Just like Madam said, it's an opinion. I may give 250, she may give 500, and both will be right. Nobody can say who is wrong. It's an opinion matter." So Professor Ashwat Damodaran said that whenever you make any mistake, you need to just thank God that you are not doctors of brain surgeon and heart surgeon. If you made a mistake there, somebody would die on the table. But since you are a financial expert, you are giving an opinion. If I am giving an opinion and a buyer and seller is willing to accept that, that should be okay. But that does not mean when I say it is art, I will paint anything on the canvas. I need to look into the standards, regulations, and justify my viewpoint. So nobody need to get scared, and we all learn by doing. And as Dashri Madam has rightly said, our ICA has put so much material on their website for any newcomer to start, that enough material is there that we can start our practice with due care.
Correct. So all the participants, please note down that by doing a course and by referring to the different enactment which Sumit ji has referred, you can get the glimpses where the valuation is required and how to go ahead and what types of reports and what type of knowledge sharing is required, and start your valuation practice. And he has very importantly given the example also, a practical example, and also give an example of a young CA in a Pune starting the FEMA valuation. So people are venturing in this new area. It is just a small thought that I have to do it, and you can start slowly, step, baby step, and then you can reach to a level where your name will also be there and your opinion will also be count in valuation. So please start it. Now let's move to the next important question to our Drushti ma'am. Drushti ma'am, is a well established practice is a prerequisite for valuation, or a new CA directly entered into the field? Because many times opinion of a senior and opinion of a junior, like say doctors and lawyers, so that also changes, or it given a what we can have weightage. So what is your take on this question? Over to you,
Okay,
Drushti
so
ma'am. Unmute, unmute.
okay. I have unmuted. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So there are two parts. I would divide this question into two parts. So to become a successful valuer, you need to have exposure in all the other fields of practice also. So if I am a valuer, my only knowing financial modeling and doing a valuation is not at all sufficient. We have the advantage of knowing, accounts, finances, knowing the accounting treatment, Ind AS, everything quite well. So unless I know my accounting well, I cannot be first of all a good valuer. So for me, prerequisite is I should have training in audit also. I should have training in tax also, because tax, audit, all these things will help you in building, your arguments, in building your foundation. It's very important. So I won't say that for becoming a successful valuer you have to be in a very large setup, but you should have an exposure in a setup where you have got to learn accounting also, you have got to learn taxation also, and you have also understood, businesses, economy, the things which happen around in the world, not just the bookish knowledge, that is not sufficient. Secondly, if you have got this kind of exposure and then you take further training with a person who is into this field, then you can develop your own practice, because there are many things which an audit firm cannot do itself, and so it has to be given to some outsider. So there are many such things which have to be outsourced, and that work can very well be taken up by a person who has good knowledge of doing that. Like for example, if you have all these swaps and hedges and options and ESOPs and all those kinds of things which are there, which have to be valued for the purpose of India's accounting, right? Now this knowledge, if you have developed through your practical experience and also through your audit and other things, then you can set your own practice saying that I can do this, but you have to know it very well. It should not be just put a rubber stamp and just sign it. You should know what you're doing. You should know what models you are running. So you can do that, take up that practice through your connected sources. You can then go and tell them that, see, now I am into this, I have got so much experience and I can now very well do this work. So if you have any such kind of work, then you can come to me. And this is how you can develop your practice in valuation. You need not be in a very big setup. There are so many valuers today who are only valuers. They don't have full-fledged all the verticals in their firm, and they are used by so many larger firms for this kind of outsourced work. So there is scope in this way.
Thank you, Drushti ma'am. And what you have given the participant, that valuation is an area which also required a complete knowledge of taxation, accounting, auditing, business, environment, current affairs, and market, all the things. So this is a very important discussion that we are having, that if you want to join the valuation, your eyes should be open, ears should be open, and then you can also venture it in this area. So very important discussion here is that a CA is having a complete knowledge. It is there in the syllabus. It is just a matter of practice. It is just a matter of experience, and then you can venture in this area. So that is a good discussion. Now, Sumit ji, when going into valuation, establishing an office of a valuer, whether it is a compulsory to have a link in a metro, or there is also a non-metros where the valuation works are also coming due to the growth of startups and MSME and other initiatives of the government. Over to you, Sumiji.
So, Umiji, I'll just take a minute also to respond to previous question which Justine Madam has said, and just to add on that, and she made a very valid point and very relevant for youngsters to learn. See what happened in our profession of articleship. We are habitual to say everything yes. Nahi bhi aata to we'll say okay, we will do it. You take it and get it outsourced and do things, but then actually damages it. So as what she rightly said, if I don't know that, I should not take a rubber stamp. And second important thing, as a valuer, I need to know all other laws. So if I am a registered valuer of Companies Act, I need to know what could be the implications in Income Tax Act of such issue. If I don't know these kind of basic things, I will not do a value-added services. And because of India's knowledge, a lot of work is coming to young CAs also. If you're good at India's, a lot of valuation comes in India's, even as a CA, based on CCPA, CCD calculations every year. Now coming to the linkage of CAs, whether someone in a tier 2, tier 3 city can survive in valuation practice, for sure they can survive. It is not necessary to have an office in Delhi, Mumbai, or any metro cities in the India. Even in a small official area, if you have an office, you can survive. But then we need to understand one thing. I need to develop networks across the metro cities for two reasons. One, as Drashti Madam rightly said, because there are a lot of larger firms, they need to get work to outsource to somebody else. So the work can come sitting in a very small place. So I know people in remotest part of Rajasthan having offices in valuations, and they are getting good opportunity. Second, you'll be surprised, despite having many valuers in metro cities, lot many CA firms would like to give to non-metro cities. And the reason is a little bit interesting reason. And they say that one, I might be the person who in non-metro may be cost effective. Second most important, they say, if somebody is, let's say I'm practicing in Mumbai and I give my work to somebody in Mumbai, then they say I might get scared my client directly comes to you and he might hire you for all other services if you give too much good service to the client. So this, I don't want to introduce a new person in same city to my client because of fear of losing a client, which works for people in non-metro cities because then I'm not a competition to him. So that way, wherever you start your practice, and as we rightly say, you just need a laptop and a brain to have this practice. You can have connects all around. People in remotest part of Ahmedabad are having a lot of BPO services or valuation practices of US UK because valuation is worldwide same. So it's not that if I'm not in big city, I cannot do a practice. You need to know the masteries of subject of options. Like she mentioned, hedge valuations. It is a very complex valuation, but somebody you can master it. You sit anywhere in the part of India, your office can sustain and you can work out.
So this is very important discussion, friends, that tier 2 cities is also having a good scope. There are a lot of discussion on this, and very important point which Sumitji has given us, that is the professional brotherhood. If the works come from, or if there is an assignment from the another CA, you should be like a trustee to that, and you should inculcate in your area, and by that way a professional brotherhood should grow, and that's the way to grow your valuation. And if your value grows, then your valuation practice will definitely grow. So your personality should be like that you are a friend, philosopher and guide in this area. So now over to Drushti ma'am. What are the services one should target on providing in this field? So how to start valuation practice? What should be the first baby step? Which types of services a valuer can provide? Over to you.
Okay, so actually, valuation is a very interesting field because you get to understand all the businesses, except for these very technical and what do I say, format driven, model driven valuations where there are swaps and hedges and ESOPs and all. They are more format driven, valuations. But otherwise, there is a lot that one can learn in this field. So, what one should start off with is, first of all, as I said earlier, one has to have a proper training in this field. One should actually practically work. It is not just bookish, but one has to understand what is being done and why. So once you have prerequisite knowledge in this field, then maybe through your network, the first thing you'll be able to get will be some outsource valuation for accounting. Maybe there could be some FEMA related valuation. Somebody is doing a transfer between resident, non-resident. These are more compliance driven valuations where it's basically the values. You just have to say that okay, this value is higher or lower, or whether it is within the band and that's why it's permitted or not in case of FEMA. Then you have a lot of 11 UA values, which is actually a no-brainer where you just have to go with the book values of assets and liabilities. That is 11 UA by breakup value. There is DCF under Income Tax Act, as Sumit said, that is to be only done by a merchant banker. But it is not, very frankly, merchant bankers also rely a lot on the workings and the perception of chartered accountant because we have ground level knowledge of the business, and that is why then they in fact consult with the referring chartered accountant and then they give their opinion on valuation. Even when it comes to DCF on their own, there may be a very big gap between the real value and the value recommended. These are the statutory valuations. Then we come to the next level, and which is also quite likely. And considering that there is a lot of movement happening in businesses also. That is, you have a client and he wants to sell some stake in his business, or there's a partnership. He wants to admit a partner. He wants to raise funds. This is a very common thing which is in seen in business. Now, at that point, at what value he should raise the funds is something which is dependent on the real value, and that is where you as a valuer can play a very big role. So you need to really understand, you can give that service which is a complete value add for your client, and the client will be very happy because based on that, supposing he had perceived a value of 25 and you are saying no, you are worth 75 because of this reason, this is the payback that you are anyway, promising basis your business and your visibility which is available. Then instead of shortchanging himself, he will be able to get somewhere closer to the fair value, and that will be a great thing for him. So this is a real consulting kind of an exercise, valuation consulting. So that's a very important thing that you can give to your client. Now taking it forward from there, even under companies act, there are instances where you need to do a valuation, or the boards will reach out to you for valuation for a merger, demerger transaction. There are sometimes instances where there is a valuation required from corporate governance also. So those valuations also are very very interesting. Preferential issue, again for preferential issue you need to be a registered valuer, you have to give valuation report, and that requires you to have a good understanding of what are you considering for your valuation. Let me come back to you on this one point. I know this is not a question raised to me, but I want to tell the audience that please bear in mind that don't use too much subjective parameters without basis. I have seen a lot of valuation reports using such subjective parameters that I don't know if the valuers who have put those parameters, they have basis or backing to justify. So when you are doing all these valuations, please be aware that you have a very big responsibility on you, and please carry it out with utmost sincerity. So this is where I end my answer.
Correct. So you have given a complete picture how to start, how to maintain, how to grow the valuation practice. And you have also discussed all the statutory valuation, client-based valuation, acquisition, merger, company law valuations, types of valuations. And very important point, it's a responsibility and do it with the utmost care. That is a very important message that you have given, ma'am. Now we have a shorter time, but we have many questions to discuss. So, participants, give your opinion poll, answer it. The opinion poll for the feedback of today's session is also open, and also the valuation opinion poll is open. Please go and answer it. Now, over to Sumit ji. Is valuation a back end or a front end job? What is your take on this question?
See, actually, valuation is both. It is both front end and back end. So let us understand there are two parts. One, if it is one is only for compliances. So I just want to do a share issue, that's a compliance. So I will do a back end job. I'm doing number crunching at the end of my office and delivering a report. But then there is one more valuation which is actually needed by industry. And Darshi Madam has rightly mentioned that if a partner needs to be taken in, at what value you will take. Or if your client as a business and your client does not want to continue that business and you need to help the client to sell the business to somebody else, then it becomes a front end job. Then you need to do a M&A valuations, you get a valuation, look into the market, take the teaser that there is an industry which is willing to sell. So then this number is not which you are making on calculations and making a back end job. Then you are trying to sell it. So valuation has both perspectives. And as we said, one need to be in office, you should have two kind of people, one who can do back end job very well and one who can do front end job very well. So if I try to do both, then I will not be able to do justice to the practice. To grow further, you need to have both kind of skills.
Correct. So thank you, Sumit ji, and very happy to tell to all both the panelists. We have crossed 2250 participants. They are growing, and it's a very interesting discussion going on. Thanks to both you panelists. Drushti ma'am, what is the skill set a CA must have when going into valuation as a front end? That is the communication and soft skills, which you have also developed in your life when you started the valuation practice, and how you are maintaining it.
Okay. So for front end valuation, what is most important is you must be aware of the means basically current affairs is very very important, because you when you talk about the value or you talk about the various propositions, there will be people who will be from the field of finance, because we are not then dealing only with chartered accountants, we are dealing with people who are in banking, they are in corporate finance, and everybody. So you need to know what are the recent developments and what are the key developments, so factors, future, how things are evolving, what things will affect the economy, what's happening in the country, what's happening outside the country. It is means you need to have in-depth knowledge, means you need to really know a lot, you need to know commodities, you need, because that's also very very important, commodities, you need to know your the exchange fluctuations, you need to know your parity level, so many things you need to know, you need to have that kind of reading. So basically you need to really read, you need to understand, you need to know what models you have made, because in a front end I understand, like, it's basically helping client in a consultative way on valuation. And in that, when you are discussing, then there are so many assumptions, parameters which emerge while the discussions are happening. You must understand the impact of those things. So if you want to be effective in your interaction, you need to immediately give a response on what is the likely effect of a particular parameter on the outcome or the perception. So I know I might be sounding a little abstract, but I mean every word that I have spoken here. And it's very important. That is why to read. That's it. You have to read and you have to communicate. And yes, very important is also that we should listen when there are other people effectively discussing in meetings. If you have had an opportunity to go to meetings where there are people who have certain stature, or they have achieved something in life, or they are very experienced, then there is something that you take away from how they put across their points, because that is a very big art that we need to also develop, make a difference, with full respect for the other person's view. All these things are very important when you go for a meeting and you are communicating. Only then your ideas will be accepted. So these are some of the soft skills and skill set required for a valuer
Correct.
to be front-end.
Correct. Yes, great, great. Now with Sumit ji, if a fresh CA starts the valuation practice, how can he attract the clients and how he should approach?
So there are two ways. One is organic and inorganic way. So organic way would be, now let's say all startups need valuations. So I should start working with incubators. I should go with incubators, give a pro bono, a session on valuations, what valuation matters for startup founders. So the moment you start giving sessions on these in various forums, which are actually working on this via combinators and startup combinators, then you start getting traction towards it. Second, start attending mini conferences on of CAs, company secretaries, because we do cross-selling. So if I am a CEO of a startup, which I am an auditor, I cannot do my valuation. So I need to look for somebody who can do a valuation. So you need to have network. The more you attend conferences, and then more you are at visibility, either by writing articles, maybe in a small monthly or a weekly blog on startups that valuations in this month happened globally. As Madam has rightly said, you need to have a global perspective. The more you put information on public, on LinkedIn's, make a profile, clients definitely come in. And it's not that only big 10 firms in India will be always look for. A young practitioners can always be. So for example, if any big Indian banks need to get merged, they will look for top 10 values in India. But if a small company needs to have a valuation, they will not go for big 10 firms of India. They will look for a mediocre youngsters practitioners. So that way, even a youngsters can start practice, but just you need to leave your comfort zone, go out of your office and meet people. And this incubator works very well. And ma'am has said one very important thing which people should believe. We should not just only look at numbers. You need to know the overall story. I'll share just a minute one a real life example. When I started my valuation practice as a novice, we did a valuation of a food industry of a client. The moment client took us to the investors just to see, and we want to see how investors react to valuations. He looked at the valuation report and in 5 minutes he said it is overvalued, and we were shocked that we spent weeks on Excel now getting that numbers, and he immediately said in 5 minutes it is overvalued. And then we asked how did he make the statement. He said when Burger King or when Barbecue Nation in the food industry have listed at 4 or 5 multiples of their revenue, how could your multiple be 8 or 9? So that's the overall picture you need to know. Just one number in silos you cannot work. So you need to have overall industry and learn from your peers and seniors. And for sure, and when as you rightly as you know that my background, I came from outside India 10 years without having no background in India. So in Jaipur, I started with zero. So when I could start my practice and I only work in valuation, similarly, any youngsters can start practice in valuation, but just you need to learn that the basics work and can start looking for professionals, and people are ready to give work. Always there.
Correct. So this is very important, and you have candidly shared your practical experience also. So this is very important, that how you should answer to the clients, how you should pitch to the clients, and how you can do organic and non-organic growth in this area. Now we are on the concluding questions. Again, I will request all the participants to join the opinion poll, give their opinion on the valuation practice opinion poll, and also on the feedback of the session. There is another opinion poll therein. Now, Drushti
Yeah,
ma'am, as a concluding session, what do you think the future of a valuation practice in India? How is your lookout toward this area?
So, yeah, there is a lot of room in this practice, but also I feel that as professionals, we only need to spend better awareness amongst our clients why a valuation is required. Sometimes, even at, I feel even in case of larger players, sometimes we have to educate them why they should go for a particular valuation and why just not consider, something which is just discussed without any basis. So it is important to first of all educate people. There is a lot of scope because there are lots of transactions day in and day out. There are settlements which happen in families. There are settlements happening between partners. There are funds which are infused into companies. There is fund raised by from bankers, from banks, and for all these things you need to have good knowledge of valuation. So there is a lot of scope, but again I will only put this one thing from my observation, that you have to be very responsible in what you are doing. Please be careful. Don't just put any subjective parameter without any basis, because the if this becomes very rampant and you just give whatever is wanted, then that day is not far when this profession will also be targeted by the regulators. Although the law is anyway there, so it anybody can complain and things can go south for a valuer. So it's very important that be careful in what you do, otherwise it will bring a lot of disrepute. And our profession, which is right now looked upon very positively in this field because of our overall knowledge of everything, law, finance, economy, market, everything, that will be washed out with that stigma that okay, these people will do anything and give it. So please be very responsible. This is our responsibility to the profession.
Rightly given the perspective of the future. So valuation practice, there is a good valuation done by Drushti ma'am. The future is bright. Lots of funds are coming in India. Lots of development is happening in India. And yes, a very important message has been given. Don't bring disrepute to this profession. This is very important for all of us. Don't go by the words of the client. Go by your own opinion, evidences, and methods, and whatever parameters you are using. That was the very important last question to Drushti ma'am. Uh, Now over to Sumit ji, concluding question. How do you think that the academical knowledge which a CA is having right now, and what is the future new learnings he has to do to grow up in this valuation area? So what are the new certifications or new synergies on academical need of a valuer?
So those who have recently qualified CA exams and are willing to come into practice, again, revise your financial management book. So whatever we have learned in basic SFM of cost of capital, options, futures, fixed income, that are very relevant. So those who have studied just to pass the exam and have not gone into the fundamentals will face challenges in future, because now we cannot have a basic knowledge. So we need to have expert knowledge on that. So first, minimum, you should have understanding of financial jargons of which is working in valuations. So whenever you go to client, they will ask on EBITDA, cost of capital, WACC. So you should know what is market risk premium, how do you arrive beta, regression analysis, that basics. In terms of academicians, one should do valuation course mandatory, even if you are not willing to sign as a valuer. Let's say I am into my own practice, I'm happy with my practice of traditional or whatever, but one should still do a course to know the knowledge of valuation so that you can assist clients. So a CA is considered to be the most trusted advisor. Client will always first looks up to a CA and say, look, I'm doing to do this, advice. Whenever a CA wants to do, whenever a client wants to do any investments or do any decision, he will first ask a CA, shall I give my shares to my family? Shall I get this new partner, exit this partner? So as a consultant, if I want to be a trusted advisor, I need to know the subject. And you will only know the subject once you read. And there are so many materials available on our magazines, on our ICA websites. If you read basics, one should know the industry, one should know the environment. Let's say, for example, FDI, last 20 years, we got $750 billion in India. But in last 5 years, we got more than $350. So that means half of the FDI came in last 5 years. So it's a huge opportunity for professionals to work in. But you need to study. And as a CA professional, the moment we stop studying, our downfall starts that day. So we need to continuously upgrade ourselves. As rightly said by Swasar, we need to sharpen the X always, all the time.
Yes. Thank you, both the panelists, Drushti ma'am and
thank you,
Sumit ji. Now let's go through our participants' opinion poll, which is a very important for us to have a perspective regarding the valuation practice, how to start and grow. So let's go through the responses. We have got the responses, and yet the more responses are coming in. Now, the first, what inspire or will inspire you for starting a valuation practice as a CA? And 52% says that all of the above. 32% says desire to expand your business and services, you means your profession here, and 9% say passion for valuation and financial analysis, and a few of them say 11% say high demand of valuation services in the market. So very important discussion here is to expand their practice they want to join, and very good analysis here we have got. Now move to the second question. What is your level of experience in valuation services and what qualification do you hold? This was asked to the participants. 48% says no experience but willing to learn. So this is very important for us all the participants have given a very good opinion poll. Hats off to the people who have given the opinion poll. Uh, they are sharing that they are not having experience, but they are willing to grow. So they can be coming in the valuation area. Yes, they want to learn more. Then comes limited experience and no formal qualification, 32%. So they have some handoff, but they need more exposure in that. Some experience and relevant certification, there are 14%. Then extensive experience and relevant post graduation degree, 4%. So this is very important that there are people or there are participants who want to come up in this area. This is very good. Then we come down to the next question, that how is the future of valuation practice? And this is very important. Drushti ma'am, Sumiji, and all participants. 49% say it's a robust, then 19% say medium, and not sure is 31%, but nobody is saying low. So it is very important for us. This is a sunrise area, or already for many the sun has already rise, but still many can join and join the growth wagon here. Then next, have you identified a nice area of your valuation practice, such as a specific industry or a type of valuation? 43% say not yet sure. 37% say they will plan for general valuation service, as rightly pointed out by our panelists. You can start from statutory valuation, then go for mergers, acquisition, and then for the specific valuations. So that was our question here, and it is got a very good response, which can give us a good insight for research in future. Then what is your target customer base and how do you plan to reach them? 62% say all of above, but 20% say small businesses, startups, social medias, and networking. This is very good that you go and pitch with the startups so they can grow further. Then 13% say large corporates through referrals, and few individuals needs valuation for the online marketing or say advertising. But here a question that a CA can solicit the work from our professional brothers and sisters, and giving a lectures, giving a value added write up, giving a good online uh, YouTube channel, or say learning on YouTube, or giving coaching on this subject can also be an area which here people have given us. Then, next question number 6. What pricing strategy do you plan to use? How does it compare to your competition? तो कौन सा strategy? Here, 60% says competitive pricing to attract more client. This is very important. Here, pricing can be a competitive, but don't compromise below certain level, because clients may move from one to another end, but we should maintain our level of fees. So please understand that your pricing of your fees should be a very good package. It should not be below level. Analyze your cost, analyze your efforts, and then charge fees. Then question number 7. What challenges do you anticipate facing when starting and growing your valuation practice, and how do you plan to overcome them? 72% say all of them. Specifically, 9% say competition from established firm, 12% say building a strong reputation and brand identity, and that can be done by imparting knowledge. Next, question 8. What is an important factor to consider when selecting a location for a valuation practice? Here, 41% say proximity to the client, then few of them say all of above, but very important here is that valuation practice, as rightly pointed out by Sumitji, you can have knowledge, you can have your laptops, and you can start it from non-metro also. Then question number 9, which of the following is an important step for a CA to take when starting a valuation practice? All of above, that is registering, obtaining necessary licenses, and developing a pricing strategy, all are the important strategy. Then what is the important step for a CA to take in order to establish creditability in the valuation industry? Here, 81% say all of the above in that certification, research, and pro bono services, as rightly pointed out by our panelists. So, this was our discussion for the day on the valuation. Now, let's move to the feedback form, and we have got the responses for that. Here, what is the growth of your city where the CA is practicing? Here, very interestingly, 37% says that the growth of the city will be on the same level, and about 10% is 33%. So they are feeling that the city will grow, and accordingly their practice should also grow. Few are say they are in the city where they are, there is a negative growth. So here they have to think very important that how they can move to the growth areas city. Then what is your view on growth of economy of city? Normal, below, and above. So if we have both analysis, the growth of a CA in that city and the growth of the city, 59% say it's a normal growth, and in above they say above 10%, 33%. Here below question, the growth of a city here is 35, and above 10% is 33. So very important, if your goal of growth is not matching, then you have to grow outside the city, you have to get the new client, you have to start, or for networking you have to reach for the new branches. If your city is not growing but your target for growth is upwards as compared to the growth of your city, which are the areas of practice of growth? This is very important analysis. 14% say income tax, then 8% say audit, then GST 30%, and very important 46%. So valuation practice comes into management consultancy related area for this, and this is the growth area. If your turnover is not coming from management consultancy, means you are missing a larger chunk. So start that practice in your office and see where the people are seeing the growth and where our office is going. Then what is the most challenging strategies in CA practice? Client management say 40%, then manpower management say 25%, and knowledge management 28%. Friends, there should not be a challenge in knowledge management. We CAs must have knowledge of our area. If we want to start the new areas, then it can be a challenge. But please update your knowledge on regular basis and reduce the risk of knowledge management. There can be a risk of manpower management, there can be a risk of client management, but knowledge management risk is not acceptable. So please upgrade your knowledge, join ICI seminars, VCMs, conferences, read the books, and get out of this strategy challenge. Then 5 number, are you willing to grow in your practice? Which is the best option to grow? Conversion of proprietary to partnership, 8% are ready. Admission of new partner, and 60% say specialization. Friends, why this is more coming up? up, because more and more proprietaries are there and more specialized areas are coming. People want to move out of the conventional area, so 60% are willing to grow by specialization. Then what is your overall view on future of CA practice? This is a very important discussion. 23% say difficult, normal 25%, good 31%, and 20% say robust. Friends, those who are thinking it's a difficult practice should think over, change yourself, learn lot of things from grow your practice sessions. Please network with your friends, your professional brothers, and come out of the difficult phase of your practice, and ICI is imparting knowledge for that. And at the last, thanks to all the participants. What's your feedback for today's discussion on CA practice management, goal management, and these sessions? Here 19% say normal, very good 36%, and good comes to 44%. So thanks to all the panelists, there is a very good response, and still 20% scope is there for me, for my team, my committee to do good. And so that is our goal, to make maximum satisfaction of our participants towards the good and very good. So I, at the end, thanks to all the panelists, Drushti ma'am, Sumit ji, then Suhas ji, then Ashok ji. Thanks to our president, Aniket Talati sir. Thanks to Vice President Ranjit Agrawal sir. Thanks to our chairman Prakash Sharma ji, and thanks to our team who is sitting here, Mehta ji, Priyanshu, and his team for doing this opinion poll management, then the technology management of this session. And hope you all have enjoyed. पता ही नहीं चला 2 घंटे का समय कहाँ चला गया. With these words, I again thank you all for joining this session, and be in touch for GYP2. That is Grow Your Practice session number 2. And we will announce it soon. It will be again on next strategy of management. First we discuss goal management, then we will have another strategy, and along with that we will have a new area. So thanks to all participants.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all panelists.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Dushti ma'am, Suhaji, Ashok ji, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.